Hello. Today, or tonight, I am going to go back and revisit an abandoned church and gravesite which has been done during the day. I actually haven't been during the night time. So what we're going to do is we're going to be doing paranormal investigating, but I didn't put it down as a title in the video for advertising reasons. But we're going to be armed with nothing very much except a large torch with a 20-volt battery on it, and we're going to be mounted to the front of this here, and which means I'm going to be hands-free, just carrying my torch, and we're going to have a look around in night vision. You know, so let's get into it.
Whispers in the sky, shadows in the night, searching for a signal through the endless fright. Voices on the edges of where our worlds collide, haunting questions echo in the absence of the light. Echoes bouncing back like ghosts trapped in a well, creaking through the silence where the lost spirits dwell. Fingers grasping at the veil, seeking something real. In the dead of night we break through truth we steal. Life after life, what do you see? Answer me, spirit, speak to me. Endless dark, oh, set me free. Life after life, show me what can be. Through flickering screens and garbled noise, we reach into the unknown like errant boys. Ghosts trapped in wires, specters riding waves, hunting for the answer to the secrets of the graves. Cool breath on my neck, the air is thick with dread. It's not the living, but the dead inside my head. Desperate for the whispers, desperate for the sign. What's beyond the living earth? Tell me what I'll find. Life after life, what do you see? Answer me, spirit, speak to me. Endless dark will set me free. Life after life, show me what can be. Flickering screens and garbled noise, we reach into the unknown like errant boys. Ghosts trapped in wires, specters riding waves, hunting for the answer to the secrets of the graves. Cold breath on my neck, the air is thick with dread. It's not the living, but the dead inside my head. Desperate for the whispers, desperate for the sign. What's beyond the living earth? Tell me what I'll find. Life after life, what do you see? Answer me, spirit, speak to me. Endless dark will set me free. Life after life, show me what can be.
Right, straight away I see a problem that one of my IR lights is not working, and hopefully this can make up for it. So let's let's start. Hopefully I don't trip over anything, and hopefully have my straps of my helmet sorted out properly. So, and hopefully nobody runs into my car. Should be okay. Right, where do I put my keys now? Oh no. Right. Alright. My torch should help with things. Hopefully. This actually is quite a very interesting find, because what we're about to come across here is the entrance to the church here, and then a bunch of trees on each side where the roadway up to the church was. I'll just stoop down here. Right, this is the roadway to the church. The reason why I've decided to do these kinds of videos is because I do find that when I'm cluttered with equipment, I start forgetting things, and very often the equipment doesn't help. With proving paranormal activity outright, sort of thing. So we're going with audio and visuals straight up. And there's that church, and we got some graves. There's not a huge amount of graves, but there's a couple here, and then a few more on that side, which is easier to see because we're in autumn now. But when I came here, it was the summertime, and they were sort of overgrown. They're still overgrown, but less, you know. And then we have this flat one here. I love the engraving on this. And it's got a little headstone as well. And there's another grave too. (1872), 1855, 1834. I'll go into the church now. Wow. Oop. And the wood is still in the windows. Why it was abandoned, I don't know. Now on the ground is soil, but that could be because of the amount of leaves that have rotted over the years and composted and layered up the ground. I'd be interested to know what actually is underneath that, you know? Or was it soil and all these floors were all wood? I don't know. Out the side here is a little porch that has fallen down. You can see where the roof line was on the wall, you know. So that is that. Again, don't know anything about the history and why it was abandoned and what happened. I've tried looking it up, couldn't find anything, so, you know. I thought today I was very busy editing and uploading, which takes a long time with slow computers, but I thought, I'm sitting on this chair all day, I need to get out, and so that's what I'm doing. This one here is granite, this headstone here, and it's very, it's still very shiny. There you go. 1905. It's very hard to read it through the night vision. You probably won't see it at all, but William McMichael, who died 9th of June 1910, and his wife Mary 1915, 4th of June 1915, aged, his husband was 70, she was 58, and a son, William Anderson, who died the 16th of February 1915, aged 27. So the son died the same year as the mother. Let's see if there's anything more in here. You know, coming up to the church, Is there anything in here that I need to... Is there any graves in here? Was I haven't actually gone in here? Nope. There's a little dog barking you can hear in the background. That's probably because of my torch. I'm going to roll myself a cigarette here. To try and figure out another way of mounting this camera to this helmet, because basically the camera's covering my right eye, so I'm walking around, I can only see with my left eye, you know, but I don't want the camera up too high, you know. I want the lens to be basically seeing what I can see. Crazy place. Going into these abandoned places, you often wonder what exactly happened. Why abandon a church? You know? I remember doing an abandoned explore in Belfast, and there was a lovely old church, still had his roof on it. I went in there and I'd done a paranormal investigation in there, and there was marble pulpit, and seats were still, you know, a lot of seats were still there. Pigeons had moved in, roosting in the steeple of the church, and they'd been there that long that there was a leaf. There was a big pile of pigeon poo in the hallway. The reason for that particular church being abandoned was they built a modern church but it sort of, it's a historical building, and it's decided we're not going to keep up the maintenance of this church. We're just going to leave it to rot. And it was in the middle of a graveyard, you know. Stained glass windows were, you know, some of them were still intact, and some of them had fallen out on the floor. And it took a long time to make those. You know, and they're historic and that, and they're just, it's all left abandoned so they can build a new church, you know. But this island is kind of strange, because while I came up here during the day, there was more than this gravesite. There was a gravesite down the road from this, on some farmland, and then a single grave in a plot, you know, a little field. And it was quite clearly that people were still going to that grave, because they used black enamel paint to make the writing more pronounced on the gravestone. It was quite a nice gravestone too. It was marble, a marble cross with marble ivy growing up through the cross and that, and the flipping workmanship that was in it was flipping fantastic. The last time I was here, during the day, so around this corner down here, I heard this rumbling in the bushes. I looked at the corner, and the corner of my eye I seen something kind of reddish brown, so I think there was a fox in there, you know. My previous visit during the day, somebody wrote a comment that if a church moves, maybe they take the remains that are left here and bury them somewhere else, but the law is that you have to keep the gravestones where they are. You know, it's a possibility. But I'm not so sure about this one particular one here, where it's covered over with this gravestone. But who's to say that it wasn't lifted and put back there? I don't know. It's an interesting little place. A little bit disappointed my other IR light is not working. You know. I usually charge up everything before I go, and I had them charged up, and I must have left it on by mistake or hit the button and didn't realise it, you know. I want to sit there for a minute. I want to rest my legs. Okay, I'm going to call out to anyone that class themselves as a spirit or in a different realm than myself, to communicate with me through the camera that I have on my hat. If you speak, your voice can be picked up on this camera and I can hear your message. Just heard a bang, which is most likely a firework in the distance. We're not that far off Halloween and people still have spare fireworks. Here's one of the habits I have to try and get out of, is talking too much. It's a YouTuber thing. People don't like dead air, but if you're ghost hunting and you want voices to be picked up on cameras or devices and that, you really do have to shut up. If anybody is here that can see me sitting here, I don't mean any harm. Just a ghost Just a gust of wind that shuffled some leaves. That just made me feel a little bit uneasy there. If anybody wants to make a sign, show me that you're here, I promise I try not to be scared. Just don't catch me off guard. That tree is massive. Been there a long time. It's peaceful here. The only thing that has me on edge is I'm using a lot of white light, and where I parked my car there's a house. If somebody sees the light and wonder, is there something fishy going on up here at this hour of the night? And they come up here unexpectedly. That's what makes me feel sort of uneasy, you know. Yeah, during the summer, I was fighting my way through this because there was so much briars. And it was an unplanned video. I came up here in a pair of shorts and my legs were tore to pieces. So much easier now. There's another house over behind that wall. With slight breezes at this time of the year, you do get weird noises. You get a sudden breeze and dried up leaves on trees start making rustling noises and stuff like that. You've got more to contend with than if you were in an abandoned location like an abandoned house or castle, you know. You've got the elements to think about, you know. My dog's gone mad down there because of this torch. Wasn't a small church of its time, you know. It's big enough, you know. Another question. See, there's plaster on the wall. There's no actual paint. Oh, correction. There actually was red paint on this wall. You can see tiny bits of it left, but most of it's gone. It's kind of it's a brownish colour, a reddish brown colour paint. You're in night vision, you're probably not going to see it, but see the staining on the wall there? That actually was paint. So this is abandoned a very long time. I need to stop for a second. Strap in again. There we go. I think my visuals are kind of okay. My right eye can see the back, the screen, and then after a couple of minutes the screen goes into standby. You know, so this torch is pretty good. I got this torch in Lidl's, and it takes the Parkside tool drill, the 12 volt or the 24 volt, and yeah, there's two settings. There's a kind of a dim and a brighter setting, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 cob lights on it. I was kind of expecting that flicker effect, but now it's fine. And unlike an ordinary torch that has, you know, 2 AA batteries that run out after an hour, we've got the big 20 volt thingamajig battery. I hope I'm not shaking my head too much. I need to rest my legs again. So I'm going to sit down. I'm going to be quiet for a little while. Cool. I'm going to sit out here and have a wee smoky wookie. There we go. You know, YouTubers, they often, you know, some of these ghost hunters that are not very experienced, and let's just say they go out to scare themselves. They've got this, they've already built up the fear that they're going to a certain location. They go into a place like an abandoned cemetery. They're already scared before they go there. And because maybe they're not used to doing this, that they've already built up the fear, but they're still going to say, you know, we're going to make a scary video and stuff. Well, you know, the other side of it is some of these people that are pretend to be scared are not scared. They're just trying to play for the camera and get the audience wound up. Places like this, from my time doing this, places like this are very peaceful. And like I said, the only thing that's disturbing that piece is there's two houses down at the bottom of this lane. And if they see, you know, this light, my torch, they see my torch, they might say, better go up and have a look here to see what's going on. And somebody comes up and I'm not expecting it. So now I'm half expecting it, which is disturbing a little bit of my peace, if you know what I'm saying. Other than that, I'm perfectly fine. There's a little bit of smoke in front of the lens because I'm having a cigarette. Oh. Well, that torch is heated up. And that's well hot. Pretty good torch. It came in very handy the other night when my friend's neighbour came back from bringing their dog for a walk and discovered that there was a big giant cow in the back garden, which I thought he was winding me up at first. I was saying to my friend afterwards, it's a pity I didn't film it, because there's a couple of paranormal channels that still won't let me forget the time I went into an abandoned house and a cow came out of the sitting room. The first indication I seen was I was walking up the hallway and this head sticks out of the sitting room door. This big cow's head. It was during the day. If it was like this in night vision, it would have been really scary. And it probably would have went viral and that, but yeah, it was kind of weird. I do enjoy the hands-free, to be honest with you, because I'm looking at something, the camera's looking at it too. So I don't miss anything. I don't have to focus on lining up the camera properly while I'm looking around as well. You know, might as well have the camera pointing in the same direction as my own eyes. Going to explain a little bit about me doing these raw kind of videos, which a person could classify it as a ghost hunting video or an exploring video or whatever the flip they want, and not having the stereotypical ghost hunting equipment with me, even though I invested a lot of money in said equipment, is, if you think about it, what is the two main things that you need to capture paranormal activity? You need your camera and you need the audio. Very often you may not get anything visually, but you will pick something up audibly. So they're the two main things: an audio source and a video source, which I have on my airsoft helmet. All these other things, like REM pods and EMF detectors, they don't detect paranormal activity as such. Well, they may, but the thing is, there's other factors involved, so that complicates the process. So you got video and audio. Right, what other pieces of equipment that I have and I forgot to bring? Well, I went out the door on a limb here tonight, and I could have taken my Seek Thermal Reveal, which is a thermal imaging camera that takes photographs. That's a good tool. The only thing is, cheap thermal isn't very good. And even my thermal that I have which cost me £315, is still not fantastic. The resolution on those are so low, because in some countries thermal is classed as a weapon, and in America certain grades of thermal require a license to get out of the country. So that's why the general public is stuck with very low resolution thermal. Another useful tool is a night vision binoculars or a monocular scope, which can record. Got both of those, which means that you can stand in a certain area and you can pick up visuals at a greater distance. That's why I think from doing this, I think those are my main pieces of equipment that I find important. I'm big into ITC. I've got strange things in weird places other than my house. Not enough. Some people just hate the spirit box. Will I bring it along in other places? Probably. But I'll try and bring a spirit box that isn't too noisy and has clear pieces of audio coming out of it, rather than a lot of static, which a lot of people hate. It's not to say that I won't bring other pieces of equipment like temperature or EMF or REM pods and that, but I'm not going to class readings of EMF in a place where there's no EMF as paranormal, because if I can't trace the source of the EMF, I'm not going to class it as paranormal. I class very little as paranormal. Very often the best way to do this is to class things as unexplained, because there could be answers that you don't know about, you know? You know, even though I have mobility issues, I do like, when I'm doing things like this, to cover ground. The camera sees different things. The camera keeps moving around. And that's what you get with outdoor locations, you know. Oh, stuck in a tree. There we go. Whoops. I slipped on a stone. With these videos, if you do see anything weird, feel free to screenshot it. Thought I heard footsteps, but it could have been dry leaves in the wind. I did notice when you see there's a lot of growth up on the top where the roof line is, trees and ivy and that. What happens is when growth starts on the top of a wall like that, the roots start going in between the stones, and that's what makes buildings eventually crumble. It would be a pity to see this fall into bigger disrepair, because in a way all the walls are fully intact apart from that little porch outside, you know. It's kind of a waste to see it sitting here like. And it's weird, all these years later, it's in the middle of a field. And this is the driveway where you've got these trees on both sides. And it's all overgrown. You know, there's no stone or on the driveway or whatever. It's, you know. And these trees are, you know, they're there since the church was in operation, so God knows how old they are. They're not as thick as some of the other trees around there, but maybe they're slower growing. I'm going to start heading down now, and I'm caught in briars again. But it wasn't as bad as the summertime, where I came down here in shorts. Oh, and there's the gate now. Yeah, the only graves that seem to be is around the church. And I think I spoke too soon. There's one in there. You see in there? Can I get in at it? Probably not. Or is it a gravestone? There is a gravestone there, I think. I'll go back there a bit. Oh, that's a tree, sorry. It's a tree with some bark out of it. So no. The gate's relatively intact, there's nothing falling off it or anything like that. Even though the paint was worn away many years ago. Oh, now we're outside the church. And I'm kind of wondering, what was all this? Was this a road back in the day and I just tripped on a log? Because the road is out there. Where this wooden gate is. The road has been busy tonight for a small island. So we're back. There's a car coming. Right. Right, let me get this helmet off. I'm going to say goodbye then. Right, that was that done. You know, I want to get out more. Because along with more exciting videos, you know, it gets me out of the house, you know. Now, I understand that people's perception of ghost hunting is very often on YouTube, very stereotypical with people using apps and lots of equipment. But if you're interested in the paranormal, right, and all you got is your phone and a torch, go out and explore. Because you don't need huge amounts of equipment, because at the end of the day, people have to remember that the two most important things in paranormal is audio and visuals. You know? These EMF detectors and K2s and stuff like that going off can be very exciting, but you still have to try and find the source of the EMF. And it's very complicated when there is a number of different sources of EMF. So it ends up giving you more questions than answers. If you're interested and you watch my videos or watch other people's videos, and I often get in the comments, I'd love to go ghost hunting but I can't afford it. I am using a Bovlov, or I think that's the name of the brand, security camera that you mount on a security vest and stuff like that, because there's great night vision in it, and it cost me at the time around 60 quid. They're gone up now, but you can use your phone as long as you have a proper torch. You know, if you tend to be out for a couple of hours and you only have a torch that fits 2 AA batteries, bring extra batteries, you know. And if you want to get into it a little bit more, try using, you know, rechargeable batteries, because if you're using loads of cameras and loads of different equipment and voice recorders and stuff like that, you can go through batteries very quickly. So the cost-effective way of doing that is to use, you know, rechargeable batteries. Now, I have big cameras, and very often I bring this tiny little body camera, and it does the job. There's a slight fisheye lens to it, and I don't like that, but I can record up to 1296p, which is a lot higher than 1080p, but it does mean that it takes longer to upload. But you do get very good quality, even in night vision, you know. So, you know, thinking outside the box of having this mounted to your chest, you can get a little phone, you know, one of them phone holders, and a little mini tripod, and you can mount it on that, and you can use it as your camera and stuff like that. Or you can just use your phone, as long as you have good light. But anyway, I'm going to go home and have a cup of tea. I didn't bring my dog today because of this road and that, but I will be bringing my dog to more and more places, you know, so we'll see you then. Right, I'm going to go. Bye, and thank you for watching.